I'm going to show you a little demonstration on how to saddle a saddle horse. And first we start, just go ahead and go. Let's start with a blanket. Square. And I'll grab the saddle. Today we're going to saddle a little kid saddle that I have. It's got some other stirrup attachments on it. First thing is just make sure you clean all the debris with a comb or whatever. Make sure nothing's under the cinches, so it won't cause a horse to be uncomfortable while you're riding. Blanket, putting it on there. You want to go about a hand width where your cinches are when you put it on. From there, this is my daughter's saddle. I have 2 daughters. Just make sure everything is pretty square, even with your saddle blanket, so you look good to go fast. On this side we have the cinches hooked up. You got a front cinch and back cinch. Make sure everything is right, even. So when you cinch it up, you're not going to cause anything to obstruct the cinches. And when we come back on the other side, reach under with your left hand, bring it over, run it through, first ring, down, just here to see where it's not long enough to make another throw, so I go back to the other side. I'm going to let this back out. With the adjustments here. One of the biggest things is when you're cinching the cinch, where your middle ring is the middle of your cinches, you want it to fit in the middle of your horse. So if you put a breast collar or some latch to it, that it doesn't obstruct their legs in the between here, so it pretty much stays in the center there. Coming back on the other side. This time I try to stay at least a hand away with the cinches here. First off, when you cinch a horse up, just snug it, so you don't get a horse wanting to turn around and bite you or making it bad for him. Just as long as it's snug there. Do the back cinch. A lot of saddles don't have a back cinch. They're mainly made for if you're roping, doing something heavy where you're pulling the front of the saddle this way, it keeps it down. I always try to secure it just nice and snug at first. As you ride your horse throughout the day, you can take it up a little bit more just to keep it tight. If not, when your belly shrinks after you've been riding for a couple hours, this will hang down if a horse was kicking at a fly or something, could do something that way, he could kick up and stick his hind foot in it, so you kind of got to watch that. A lot of horses don't like it snug way up tight. It can result as a bucking strap, but a horse that's used to it, they're used to having it snugged up to hold the weight to the top of the saddle, so when you're roping it doesn't pull it back. A lot of saddles are designed to have a double rigging just so it holds the saddle flat. Some saddles are made where if you just have the front cinch, the rigging is different, like a 3/4, 7/8, a full double, which this is a full double, and it just distributes the weight of the saddle and the person riding them. So, and this one's got a breast collar on it. The breast collar strap is made so the saddle, if you're pulling something or just a saddle that doesn't really fit a horse very correctly, it will hold the saddle forward instead of slipping off the other side. I'll have to adjust this a little bit longer. My daughter rides a little pony that's not a pony, it's just a small horse. So making it so this center ring goes to the center of your horse. Latching it from the other side. All of these things, every time you put something on them, is just making sure all the debris is gone. Really check all your Chicago screws once in a while just to make sure that they're always tight. I've been through a lot of accidents that people have, never tightened all these things. If you get something new, first off, just check all these, make sure you tighten them all up. If you have to, you can take some nail polish, put on the screw head and screw it in, and that keeps them from never coming undone. And then this strap just hooks it back to the ring on the bottom in the middle of your cinch. And by you making sure your cinch is always square to the middle of your horse, this won't ride on his leg, pulling him here if you got it cinched up, or on this side like that. So make sure everything is nice and snug and tight. And then also on this saddle here, you can get what we call a stirrup buddies. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old both ride this saddle. The 2-year-old, you can adjust these stirrups way up so the little kids can sit in there. I've added some straps on here to keep this thing from going from one side. Little kids get to bouncing in the saddle and this thing will fall off. I have it strapped to the center of the saddle so they can't make it rock back and forth and fall off that way. And then when they get older, I got enough strapping here they can let it down, it went from my 2-year-old was way up here in the upper straps, and then now they're down. My 2-year-old's legs are that long now and almost caught up with my 5-year-old. So even though I go to a rodeo and my youngest daughter is in an event before my oldest one, I just slap her up here. When she's done, my little one just jumps on and uses these stirrups, and she's 5. So there's many multi-little tasks. You can also get these that fit off the back, but I try to teach my kids from when they're little to use 2 hands, sit square in the saddle, make sure their stirrups fit them so they don't just get to bouncing back and forth. And that's about it. Just other than then after you get your horse saddled, take him out, turn him around a few times, make him walk around, disengaging his hip, and I'll show you that right here. You can ask him to turn around, disengaging that hip, stepping it over.